What's up, my friends? I hope you're well. Peddinti here from hybridaibrain.com. Today, we're going to talk about building another proprietary software that you can implement in your business. This is the extraction of knowledge, ideas, IP, and the body of work that you have, and converting it into a digital publication, a magazine. And what inspired me to do this was, I've been publishing in various magazines for many, many years at this point, and very niche ones specifically for, almost a decade, and then got into mainstream publishing, Entrepreneur Magazine, and others like it about 7 or 8 years ago. And the thing I realized was that there was a limitation on how much I could publish. I had a lot of ideas I wanted to pump out there, but the publishing turnaround time was weeks together, and they'd go edit my article in a manner that promoted their platform or fit their audience. But not just that. It also, if you, as I went back and reviewed my articles, I noticed that obviously there were advertising, right? Advertisements, commercials right next to my ad. These are how the publishing platforms actually make money. Well, that makes sense, except the ads were direct competitors or technologies or private wealth management firms that were being promoted from my article. My article described, let's say, legal or tax or, very niche financial strategies or investment strategies or foundations or nonprofits or grants or joint ventures. These are the topics I generally cover: mass business expansion with technology and protection of all of these things with, various IP strategies, right? That loop in estates, trusts, foundations, nonprofits, the whole thing. And, I've had situations where I was trying to launch technologies and they beat me to it. These are large corporations with billions of dollars, in the past, who could publish these platforms based on my idea before I could, right? I had to go hire tech developers, I had to raise some money or risk my own money and develop a full-fledged platform after I saw the responses, after I had, let's say, 10 or 15 people convert at 20 to 50K a piece from these articles. I was like, okay, well, I have enough ROI from this article that substantiates building a niche technology around it. But the speed at which I could get to it was not fast enough because these platforms, these corporations were able to do it. So anyway, fast forward now, that is what inspired me here to do this at record speed. So I've experimented with this with my own platforms. I have a couple of magazines here that I've launched. I'll showcase what that look like. But this one here literally takes the raw ideas and gives me, so let's go through it. What core transformation you've experienced to help others? Unlocking their potential, gifts, ideas, and IP with unique IP and tech strategies. Bankruptcy. Your audience, who's the person you want to serve? Entrepreneurs and innovators. Okay. Again, you have to fill this out in detail, right? This is the process. I'm just walking you through the process. What are the top 3 mistakes? What scam traps or bad advice? Okay. Then your frameworks, so unique methodologies, results, and then revenue impact. What kind of revenue streams do you want the magazine to generate? Speaking, consulting, courses, product sponsorships, new ideas, a tech lab, an incubator, VC firm. There's so many options. What is the ultimate impact you want to have? Build my magazine. So these are the options. Choose your niche: health, wellness, tech, legal. Let's go with tech. And what kind of authority model? And I've written in most of these places or have worked with people who have, right, who are authors or freelance writers, contributors, sometimes even staff members in one of these organizations. And so these are the ones I have extensively followed, used a lot of the frameworks as inspiration from these magazines, the trajectory of how they built it, and of course, finding my niche ideas, right? They take the best of all of these models and then blend it so it's proprietary to me, and there's no legal issues going down the line. So let's say I want to do a Harvard review style, which is going to be a much more technical, right? Select the magazine components, IP extraction engine, okay, article factory, SEO domination, end-to-end automation, interview extraction system, CRM system, revenue architect. These are all the back-end distribution features. Nonprofit funding pathway, okay, 70K combined value. Let's feed it in. And so we have activate the hybrid AI brain. Now again, this has a lot of my core memories and knowledge built in. Here are the examples: the Tech and AI Authority magazine, Forbes Caliber publication, positioning you as a definitive voice in tech. Okay, Tech and Business AI Insider, news article publications, Tech and AI blueprints, and somebody can fill out the leads here. And again, all of these are physically reviewed, right? That's one variation of this. Let me show you some of the magazines that we have created and the speed at which these magazines are being executed. Live in the market, already showing up on Google, handful of leads already trickling in, and this is like barely 2 or 3 weeks old. And this is all old content, right, that we've uploaded here and said, hey, go ahead and upload the same stuff. So it's trustworthy human written content at some point that we've uploaded here, but reformatted into formats that show up on SEO as well as AIO search. In addition, it segments. Look at all these pages, okay, the extensive pages that it has created, including the articles. All of these, again, AI solutions. Okay, so it has a full page for estate planning. If you watch the other video, we have the estate planning software that we've built, right? And that can generally be tacked on here. Custom AI systems. There's a podcast attached to it. The resources, okay, scenarios, what is estate planning, life scenarios, basics of estate planning, advanced planning, references, court cases, IRS codes, external links to the IRS. Okay. Created in 2 hours. Whereas our previous version, that we had a lot of leads in and we spent a lot of time publishing this stuff. We originally had about 400 articles and then summarized it down to about maybe 200 or so. But each one of these articles, yes, we were using AI for image generation, things like that, and even specific, content. But all of this stuff, okay, you can see there's so many links here. Prone to break. Links, associations, same. Literally, we've uploaded the same documents, okay, in here, and it took 2 hours to build out, okay, and a few tweaks here and there. But each of these articles, okay, we can design a Claude bot or an automation so that it shares these automatically, or if you have a virtual assistant, they can do this physically, right? Or set up an automation, right? Agentic automation via ChatGPT or Claude, where you're sharing 4, 5, 10 articles a day. LinkedIn. Now, if you have videos on there, you can do YouTube videos as well. TikTok, right? We're not even sharing this because it's honestly purely experimental. We don't even offer estate planning at this point. We just refer out every single one of those deals. So if you are watching this, if you're in estate planning, you're interested in handling the business that these articles are generating, please reach out to me. I would be happy to forward those to you. Okay, so I mean, you can see here the advantage of doing this, right? So that's one variation of this particular application of extracting knowledge. Now we have other variations, a lot of other variations of this. Let me show you another one here. Okay, clone your brain, which is also knowledge extraction, which is for presentation format. Okay, we give this to affiliate partners who want to extract, who want to build revenue streams with us, and as we're partnering clients. Okay, that's one version. Here's another version that I'd encourage you, if you want to get started, to start here, which is the IP extraction. This is a full-blown application. Okay, I designed this many years ago for a client, and it was nowhere close to this. They were a large IP and patent firm, and we wanted to extract as much as information as possible from the inventors we're representing, really diving into their brains. And that's the only way we could really file the patents or the trademarks or licensing contracts, right? The IP licensing agreements, even the SaaS contracts, with those nuances. So I had to dive into people's brains, like really deep. And, it's a complex process. So this actually automates the entire thing, right? And I have another video where I cover how this application works, but it's essentially a full knowledge extraction process, okay? Which, once they fill it out, it shows up on a database like this, which is a custom database, and I can review submissions here. Let's say I go to a video like this, you can see it's just testing. We're about to publish it now. And I can see a client's full portfolio and answers, identity, lifeline, shaping experiences. There's a live recording feature, okay, that they can record an interview just like this with the screen, and it's pushed to Google Drive. It opens up the folder and automatically stores it in there, which I can just share with the client directly. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay, so you can see these are all pushed directly here from the app, and you can also obviously view. So these are all converted into a format that can be fed into AI. So retraining the AI platforms with your core knowledge. Okay, that's what the hybrid AI brain is. It's extracting those key values, lifeline experiences, shaping moments, etc., and creating a hybrid brain, a digital brain that contains those things. Okay, let me actually show you another app. And this is, again, a basic MVP. If we work with corporations where we're building, extracting knowledge from C-suite executives, there's quite a few of those projects we're working on. We have, let me show you here, a much more in-depth version. Okay, so we have a full day interview process where we're extracting billions of dollars worth of nuances and strategies that are contained in people's heads, and creating digital platforms like this, right? For me to create an application like this, a corporate intellectual property protection and legacy creation storage application, think of it as like an insurance of the brain, really. That's what it is at this point, right? Look at these. We have identity, hierarchy, chronology, experiences, beliefs, decisions, energy profile, blind spots, primary focus, next generation layers, AI behaviors, memory types, evolving, final rules. Okay, that's a lot of in-depth knowledge. Look at this. And again, this is actually an extract from mine, so hopefully it doesn't give away too much, but these are all my identities, all blended into one. Okay, philosopher, inventor, builder, teacher, founder, legacy designer, tech, law, education, legal, truth seeker, scientist, early years, awakening, philosophies, integration, mastery, failures, pivots, okay, core shaping experiences, core beliefs, knowledge stack, sources, primary sources, where I extract information from, how do you think, my decision flow, the filters, is there documented evidence? These are the guardrails. I ask myself before I believe anything, is there documented evidence? Is there professional backing? Can they showcase it? And is there real world proof, right? From the government, from official publications. No proof, you reject it. Weak, you investigate. A strong proof, you go with caution, right? And so all of those things, the way I decide, my intuition engine, energy profiles, fast, lab building, speed, it's all about speed, right? Get to the market and then figure out what goes on. Look at this, how detailed this is. Now I'm loading all of these things. Okay, segment by segment into the hybrid AI brain, which is what? We're customizing each and every platform. Let me show you here. Okay, personalization. We're customizing the AI platforms with your core knowledge. And we're going to give the parameters so that it's using those as the guidelines, as the frameworks, the guardrails with which AI is going to be acting on your behalf. So we're using AI for the architectural capabilities, the coding capabilities, rather than generative or agentic uses, which are more, generative spitting out data, permutation combinations, right? Here, we're actually getting code to be built out in a specific way. Exporting the brain maps, downloading it. Right, look at this whole thing. Okay, it's here somewhere. But you get the point. Once we do this, stage one, actually reorienting, retraining, recalibrating your default AI machines to your specific brain, your goals, your firm, the hidden ideas. I'm interested in partnering people who have not tapped into their full potential. If you feel like you've tapped into your full potential, I'm not the guy to work with you. If you feel like you've only tapped into 1, 2, maybe 5%, 10%, right? And you might be very successful, earning tens of millions, 100 millions, even billions of dollars. We've worked with a couple of billionaires, we're working with some now, who are still hungry. And it's not about the money. It's about the drive, the unfulfilled desire to share what was put in them. That's what drives me. This is just one profile out of many of these profiles, right? And hundreds of others with clients we've actually structured. This does not even contain client stuff. I like clients to have their own accounts. I don't offer SaaS programs like some of these estate planning softwares or some of these things. We can easily just start running SaaS companies. But my whole, motto is sovereignty, independence with AI, so that you can break free from the cycle holding you down. In a traditional law firm setting, you're bound by so many restrictions and so many tech companies that you have to use just to operate a successful business. The whole point, to me at least, the way I've been experimenting with AI is not inside the law firm where the greatest risk occurs, hallucinations, sanctions, etc., client details leaking, whatever, all the concerns you have. why bother with that when you can just, go ahead and start spitting out, look at all these ideas. Every single one of these things here, okay, completely different business revenue lines with active leads, clients in these pipelines. This is grants for AI. Clone your brain. This is the presentation. Okay, preserve wisdom, insights forever, affiliate sites, AI investing formula. These are for our private foundation clients who want to diversify, who want to invest in AI, not just use it, but actually invest in it. The way billionaires, right? Billionaires are using AI far less than you and I are using it on a day-to-day basis, but still they're the ones profiting. So can we become investors, not just users, right? Or implementers? So this entire formula talks about how to structure a foundation, repurpose pre-tax money into the foundation, and diversify your portfolio by investing about 25% of that investment fund in a tax-free setting, okay, into AI investments. And the remaining portion of it, small portion, is either held, 5% is given as donations, strategic donations, which are what? Grants for AI. You're not only receiving grants, you're also becoming grant maker, funding your excess tax dollars, assets, and income in the form of grants and supporting nonprofits who could use your excess money, giving you up to 30% tax breaks. So again, you see all of this to facilitate 3 or 4 different sites. They need one core thing, which is, where is it? Okay, well, it's here somewhere, right? Which is a private foundation. And we have an entire program around the private foundation. Let me actually show you another related program that we're working with several museums and large churches right now. In fact, we have one of our partners heading down to the White House, about to give, a presentation on this and secure a ton of funding so we can help nonprofits, churches, museums raise billions of dollars for public good. Okay, all the money that these museums and churches and nonprofits are looking for is actually in their donor database. They just haven't figured out how to tap into it. And so what we started doing is building AI tools, right? AI calculators. Okay, let me just show you that right now. It's a full automated calculator for museums showcasing how, and this goes on their donation page as an example, showcasing how to get their donors to structure foundations so that they can actually get tax breaks. With the annual exclusion amount so high right now, 30 million, what is it, 30,000 per couple, 15,000 for individuals, right? Which is the standard or itemized deduction for 2026. People are, if you're not donating more than that, you're not getting any tax benefit. So donations during these times, especially with the war and inflation right now, are actually decreasing, right? I've spoken to many churches, many museums. So this is a way for them to think about, okay, again, think about what it would take in the past to create interactive native websites where you have these sort of tools built in. The calculators here, the calculations, have been manually fed. Okay, so it's vetted. It's something that we have extracted from the IRS website and fed into it. So there's no misinterpretation. It's a very simple calculation. But in the past, unless you knew coding and architecture and great at UX UI design, you'd have to spend at least $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 just to build something like this in real time. This takes people through the entire cycle. Compounding effect of a donor, monthly versus charitable giving, their tax deduction, itemized deductions, right? How they can actually, get more benefits by donating more. So the point of all this is, again, very simple. Training hyper training, customizing, reorienting, and synchronizing your AI platforms with your core intelligence, memories, knowledge, insights, gifts, talents, guardrails, ethical, moral decision making, things that make you stop, wonder, your investigative style, your delivery style, the way you close. This way, it's a true brain. For me to go in here and say, hey, I have this idea, pull up this database of knowledge, and you already know about me, go ahead and spin up this app. That's what these apps are. Okay, all of them are full-blown technologies. None of these are actually generating, like this is a full storybook creator. Okay, we represent, again, like I said, a lot of authors, a lot of TEDx speakers, a lot of C-suite who want to give back. And over the years, we've had to manually go in and create these things, right? Which is extracting the knowledge, deciding what type of book they want to create, who is it they want to, share this with, what kind of creatures, and then hire a graphic designer to go build these things. And look how fast this is now, right? Automated, bold comic, Dr. Seuss, things that just inspired me. Pete the Cat, okay? Lifetime building of a comic book, digital comic book. Can be stored on a website, can be created into a full animation, okay? And the reason I created this is because I want to share these lessons with my own kid. Okay, I want my parents and my in-laws and the lessons they have, I want to start capturing those. I want to create a full memory, right? A legacy tree, a family tree of memories that they can pass on, because nobody has captured that so far. And they're in their 70s and 80s. So these are apps that just inspired me to do what, hey, here's an idea. I'd love to do this. Can you create this for me? And here we are. So anyway, hopefully this has inspired you to think beyond generative or agentic AI. There are a lot of other use cases that are much more fun, much more innovative, and again, people who go through this is a live platform. It might even just be open source. I don't even want to charge for it. It's my gift to people who can use it and share their memories. And if they want to join my programs and build tech and partner with me, no problem. If not, no worries. Right? My contribution. So you have ideas. Let's see. The little sprout will bounce back. Okay. Once I upload some graphics, code, and a few more things, this can be completely animated. A full motion picture. Imagine. Meet Pip, the tiny sprout. He wanted to grow tall, a big strong wind. He fell down, leaves a heli droopy. I mean, this is exactly like the storybooks I read to my 5-year-old. Right? In a second, converting real stories, client stories, into various forms. So, let me just show you here. Shareable in different formats. Okay, you can zoom in, zoom out. Again, there's a library. You can download it into different forms. You can print it out. You're only limited by your imagination at this point, my friends. Hopefully this showcases and inspires you a little bit. Okay, you have any questions? You want us to help you bring some of these ideas to life? Extract some of the IP that's sitting in your head? I'd love to do it. Visit hybridaibrain.com. Fill out the form, schedule a call, or send me a message, leave a comment here, or send us a message, and we'll be happy to reach out to you. That's it for now. Talk soon.